up, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Cheers Reviews. I'm your host Jimmy, and today we are talking about the Squier Classic Vibe 70's jazz bass. I've had my eye on one of these for ages. In fact, I remember about 10 years ago seeing something pretty similar to this as part of the Squire Vintage Modified series. If you remember the Vintage Modified series, it was pretty much the first time Squire were able to mess around with the vintage styles and create some pretty interesting basses. Dare I say, it was the predecessor for the Classic Vibe range, and when I found out that this was part of the Classic Vibe range, I just had to get one. I've been super impressed at the quality of instruments coming out of the Squire factory in Indonesia as part of the Classic Vibe range, and to be honest, the 70's jazz bass is probably one of the best in the whole range. Yes, it's a bold statement, but let me know what you think by the end of the video. Check with your local dealer for pricing, but I picked this one up brand new for 579 Aussie buckaroos, which represents great value considering the build quality and materials that you're getting. There's 3 colors available. You can get it in black, 3-tone sunburst, and the natural finish, which we've got here today. Each bass sports a maple neck with black block inlays, as well as a 3-ply black pickguard. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'd know how much I love natural finish basses, especially when they've got a black pickguard. I think it's just an awesome combo and it looks sensational on the jazz bass. In fact, this particular one is probably one of the best examples I've seen. Anyway, jumping into specs, we've got a soft maple body, a solid maple neck and fretboard with black block inlays, vintage style bridge and tuners, and 2 Fender designed Alnico jazz bass pickups controlled by 2 volume dials and an overall tone dial. One controls the neck, one controls the bridge, and the tone dial controls the overall tone for both pickups. Also, check out the awesome 70's headstock logo. I think that looks super cool. Out of the box, I've been super impressed with the CV 70's jazz bass. It's got a tight neck pocket, smooth fret edges, and I'll get some close-ups of that awesome grain on the 2-piece soft maple body. Anyway, I'm keen to kick out the jams, so without much further ado, let's see how it sounds. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I mean, wow, what an awesome bass. I love the ability to dial in all those classic gnarly jazz bass tones. Having the soft maple body really rounds out some of those tones as well. Given that it's a very breathy wood, it takes the edge off those MIDI honks that you usually get in a jazz bass, and it boosts the bass and the treble in response. In a band mix, this would carry really well. Another thing is the feel of the neck. It's so slick and solid. The Classic Vibe 70's jazz bass responds really well to your style of playing. Whether you're cruising along or digging in or even slapping the bass, It amplifies whatever your right hand's doing, which is exactly what you want out of a bass. One thing I will mention about the bass is that it's 5 kilograms. The soft maple does add a fair bit of weight in comparison to the 60's Classic Vibe jazz bass, which comes in at only 3.7 kilograms, but for what you gain in weight, you definitely get back in tone. I'm going to do a shootout comparison between the 60's and the 70's jazz bass at some point, so be sure to check that out. Anyway, thank you so much for coming with me to check out the Squier Classic Vibe 70's jazz bass. If you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see weekly bass related content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below. But until next week, keep on rocking, and I'll see you next time.